still my town. My town.
Hello, welcome back to Connecting Clarkston. This is Season 3, Episode 5. Katie and I are very excited today because we're here with three stellar representatives from Clarkston High School. Kyle Hughes, who is a teacher here. She teaches CSM Tech math classes and has also been leading Team Rush for how many years?
29 years.
29 years. Oh, you said 30 before. It feels like 30, but really 29.
Feels a lot like 30.
We also have Finn and Ameera, who are also part of Team Rush and Clarkston High School students. Really fun because we have the parade coming up in downtown Clarkston for the Christmas holiday, and a lot of you have been to the parade, but you don't know how it happens and how it gets set up. And this is the team behind all the magic, and so we're going to talk all about the parade and Team Rush. So welcome, thanks for being here.
Thank
to
you.
all of
Thank
you.
you for having us.
So the two of you are captains of Team Rush for this year, and how many members are there total in your Team Rush group?
I believe we have 35 students this year.
Wow.
Okay.
And we just ran the numbers, and 19 of them are brand new. So it's a big training year for
Wow.
us, but we're super excited for it.
Wow.
A lot of new faces this year.
Okay.
So for anybody that doesn't know what Team Rush is, what's a Reader's Digest version of what you guys do?
Team Rush is a high school robotics team that we get our game or our purpose in January. So imagine the basketball team every November being told, now these are the new rules of the game. And you're not going to use a basketball this time, but you're going to use a sponge ball. And then the next year, you're not going to use a sponge ball, you're going to use a wiffle ball. But the court's going to change and everything's going to change. So in January, the first Saturday in January, we have what we call the kickoff. And then we find out what the game is going to be, and then we build our athlete to play the game. And so the students work with mentors. It's a mentorship program. And we have about a dozen mentors from the industry that come in, engineers, machinists, electrical engineers. They all come in and then they work side by side with the students to help them achieve our challenge, which is to have this high-performing athlete.
So are all the students in Team Rush also in the CSM Tech program?
No. In
okay.
fact, currently we have less CSM Tech students on Team Rush than in the past. It used to be that you had to be in CSM Tech to be on Rush.
Okay.
But when CSM Tech came to Clarkston, we decided to open it up to the whole Clarkston program. And so we have lots of students. But we build robots from January through February, and then we compete. And then our off season includes all sorts of things, from summer camps and trainings to the regatta, which is our cardboard and duct tape boat race, to working in the fall with our leagues for our young kids. All of the high school kids are mentors for other kids. They run leagues from kindergarten through 9th grade. Wow. And then we have our program. So we just finished all of our leagues. We're going to have the parade. We're going to have 2 weeks off, and then we're so excited for the new season.
That is amazing. Now, you guys have been involved since your freshman year, or how long have you guys been involved in the Team Rush personally?
In Team Rush itself, since my freshman year is when I joined, but I've been doing robotics since about 6th grade. I started with one of the middle school programs, and I actually had a Rush mentor as one of my mentors, which was one of my first views into Team Rush and started me in, wow, I really want to be on this team. But I've been involved since 6th grade. I joined Rush as soon as I could in 9th grade, and now here I am as a captain in my senior year.
I started my freshman year too, but I did FTC at my old school over in Brighton during my 8th grade year, and we were a rookie team, but because of the environment that First has to offer, I really wanted to join Rush when I came here, and so that's what I did.
And I remember, and I'm not sure when, maybe let me know, you guys won states and you went to nationals and competed worldwide, right?
Yeah.
When was that? And
In fact, what years did we win states?
We won the state championship in 2014, 16, 22, and then this past season, 2024. We were world champions in 2018, And then in 2014, we also won what was then called the Chairman's Award. It is now called the Impact Award, which is the most prestigious award in the whole program of FIRST. Recognizes teams for their work in the community, what it means to be a FIRST team, and we were inducted into the Hall of Fame, the World Hall of Fame.
If we had a live audience, it would be like going crazy. This is your round of, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's exciting. Our first year that we won the state championship, we were like so excited, and nobody knew anything about it. So we came back and we were like, but we won the state championship, and everyone's like, yeah. And then, you know, the next time we won, it was a little bit better. I believe was it 18 was when basketball also had their big win. So there was a parade in town, and we were at the end of the parade, but we didn't care. We were part of the parade. So it's exciting. You know, it takes a while for a community to understand something that they've never had before. Basketball's been here forever. Football's been here forever. But robotics is now finally becoming a word that it works with Clarkston.
Yeah, absolutely. And are there rivals, you know, like Lake Orion is our football rival, let's say. Who are our robotics rivals?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's hard to define like having a rival because you all work so closely. One of the big core values of the FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. One of their big core values is cooperation, which is cooperation and competition merged together.
Wait, say that word again? I thought you were like misspeaking. You weren't at all. Cooperation?
Right.
That's very
so
cool.
So you're working together, but you're also competing like crazy to go against each other. So yeah, you kind of have, I guess, de facto rivals that start forming, but at the same time, you're working together and you're building those bonds. So you don't really get that rivalry kind of aspect.
I think some of our rivals might be the teams that we want to beat the most, and
Yeah.
yet we also
Yeah.
want to be their partner. So we don't want to beat them that bad.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm trying to remember from when Luke was on with us and he was talking about your competitions, and I know he told us a story about, I think, your team winning, but how another team that was like right behind you then like dedicated themselves to coming back, and I'll have to go back and watch that episode.
That year when we won first place, the team who took second, they lost to us by 1 point. It was like 480 to 479.
Wow.
They were super gracious and super nice about it, but they said we're gonna come back next year, and they beat us by like 200 points this past year. But they said that you guys just had such a spirit, and you guys really motivated us to become betters.
He's probably talking about the drone
Right.
team.
Okay,
And it was
yes.
because we sponsor the drone teams as well. And our first year doing AVR drones, we flew down to Texas for the national championships, and we had never done it. We didn't even know if we were going to go. We were like, this is just for learning experience. But every kid on the team was also on Team Rush. So every kid knew how to problem solve, how to troubleshoot, how to organize, how to compete. They knew all of the important key components to being a competitive team. So we got down there, and we won, okay? Because we won, we got to go on a helicopter ride, and the whole deal was really cool. On the way back from the airport, one of the mentors was in the car with me, and he said, do you want to know how much we won by? And I'm like, sure, whatever. He goes, 1 point. And I was like, oh no. The other team that we beat by 1 point had been doing this for years.
Right.
Wow.
And never came up against that kind of competition. So the next year, we went back last year, and they kicked our butts. And they told us, they said, you have been our inspiration. We'll never let that happen again.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we took second last year, and we were way ahead of everybody else, but they saw us and said, that's it, no more. We are not losing by a point. And they did get their helicopter ride.
They did.
Oh, nice.
I think they beat us like 200 points.
It was
wow.
big.
as
Oh,
coming
they kicked
back.
our butts.
Yeah.
They came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were totally okay with that because it was more about the learning of the drones, and that was really our primary focus of it.
Do people come to Clarkston for this robotics program with Clarkston High School? Like, is there a recruitment effort? Not recruitment, but like, is there a Does that draw people in, do you think?
I think it does. I think that there have been some people who have said to me that they were maybe up to a couple different districts, and because of our robotics program, this is what they chose. But I mean, right now, most of our kids, I mean, why did you guys come to Clarkston?
Well, I was going to go to NDP, and I looked into their robotics program, which is the Killer Bees, and I liked it, but I didn't think it was like structured like good.
I'm so glad you did it.
My gosh, I was going to say
Amazing.
robotics,
Yeah,
but that was the good
yeah.
story.
That wasn't planted.
No.
No, that's amazing though, and I
Yeah.
feel like people. It happens all the time with sports, so you hear that happening with sports, and it's also happening with the robotics program and the CSM Tech program, and just a shout out, Clarkston Schools doing amazing
absolutely.
things.
You know, it's funny because we don't know, because we are in the basement of the high school, and we don't know kind of what our impact is until we leave. And we will get to tournaments, and especially the new kids will just grin from ear to ear because people will see our logo and say, oh, they're from Rush. They're Rush people, and they're from Clarkston. And it's pretty exciting. We were at an airport, and this team walked right up to us. They were going, I don't know where they're going. They're going to our workshop, our training, and they just went, oh my gosh, your team Rush, and they sat down, they wanted a picture and the whole deal, and we just they're kind of celebrities.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
very exciting.
Where does the 27 come in?
yeah.
Well, in 1998, they were recycling the numbers every year. So you'd sign up and you'd get a number. And teams started complaining because they couldn't really develop a brand and because the numbers changed every year. And so they said, okay, well, we'll keep the numbers this year. And so the first year we were 21. In that second year we were 27. And we just were number 27 because it was alphabetical. And our company sponsor at the time was the Bud Company, so B was really early in the alphabet, and we just got to keep it. So we've had 27. Now, what is the highest number?
Right now, so this is actually the first year that FRC, which is the high school level, is doing 5 digits. So they're in the 10,000.
Wow.
I think they're already up to 10,500 something.
So when we go to a tournament and we are scouting other teams, I have the hardest time keeping track of 4-digit numbers. I had a hard time keeping track of 3-digit numbers. And then there's 4, and now there's 5. I just look at the last couple digits, and as long as they're all different, that's how I name the teams because I can't keep it up. But it's so funny to see all these big numbers, and then you see 27. It's fun. It's fun to be a 2-digit number.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
You guys are like OG robotics teams.
Is there a one? Is there a team one?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
Juggernauts, and they're out of OTC Northwest.
Okay.
Northeast. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, what inspired you? How did you get involved with this?
Back in 1996, a few years ago, I was teaching an engineering class, and this came up, and we thought, well, it'd be a great outcome to this class. We'll just do this little project they call FIRST, and here I am 29 years later. My husband didn't want anything to do with it, nothing to do with it. And so eventually he changed his pattern, and now he's the one who keeps telling me, he's retired, but he keeps telling me, oh, no, you need to keep working because I like this thing called Rush.
Oh, that's so cute. So when did you guys, let's do a little transition over to the parade coming up, because what does Rush Robotics have to do with a holiday parade in Clarkston?
Okay, so
Good question.
in 2009, the parade was run by the Clarkston Chamber, and we used to do a lot of things for the chamber. The kids would go and help do mail stuffing back when that was a thing. We would help them out with the concert and the parts. We were doing a lot with the chamber, and they decided that they just didn't want to do the parade anymore, but they wanted to hand it off to someone they felt could run the parade. Next thing I know, I'm running a parade that I've never seen before, and here we are, it's like, 14, 15 years later, and we didn't do it the year of COVID. 2020, we didn't have the parade, but every other year, and each year, to me, it gets better and better, and it's more organized, and it's more functional for us.
So you guys, Team Rush, coordinates and organizes the whole Parade of Lights.
Pretty much.
You guys are the point people. So tell us a little bit about what to expect for the parade. What does it look like in town?
It's going to be exciting. First of all, the weather's going to be great. I'm just saying that right now because I have to say that. True. It is an all-weather parade, so if it's raining out, we'll be there. If it's snowing out. One year we had a blizzard, and we still had the parade.
I did just ask Google today what the weather is going to be, and I think it said on Saturday, a high of 37
Yep.
and a low of like 32.
Yep.
And Google
Possibly
did not
wi-
mention anything else.
It might rain later, but hopefully we'll be done by then.
Okay, perfect.
So, but it'll be exciting. We will have the floats start attending around 3:30. They come into Renaissance High School parking lot, and then the judges get there around 4:30. They're judged events, and then the judges go around, and then we give the people their awards, and we put the banners in front of them, and then at 6 o'clock, the veterans at 6 o'clock, I'm telling you, at 6 o'clock, they start walking. And so if we're not ready, the parade starts, and it's amazing. And they will usually, they take the beginning of the parade and walk it down through Clarkston, and then Santa's at the end of the parade. Off season, we mentioned this earlier, he lives down in Ohio, but he definitely gets the reindeer to bring him up here for the parade, so that's exciting. And we've taken it as a team. You asked how we were running a parade. We want more of a STEM, a math, science, technology angle to the parade. So like this year's theme is what is
Innovate and illuminate.
Innovate and illuminate. There's always that sense of engineering or something that we want to have. And there's a STEM award for one of the floats. But we want people to be more aware of what these kids really enjoy.
Yeah, right.
And we're excited this year. We have another robotics team that's going to be in our parade, so that's exciting.
From where?
Pontiac,
Okay.
Team 51, the Wings of Fire. They're coming down to join
Very
us.
cool.
Yeah.
So last year I was at the parade, and I think it was Union Joints had like an amazing float. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Will that be there again this year?
Well,
Can we talk about that? Is that a secret? Did they win the STEM prize?
No, because the flames weren't shooting in the Renaissance parking lot. So,
So it was. Do we know, is it happening this year? I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it was amazing.
I don't believe that the fire marshal is allowing open flames this year.
Okay, well, if you didn't attend last year, you're lost. Because it was a hot air balloon, right? It was like the basket. It was like a hot air balloon shooter. Is that the technical term?
It was something. It was just a big flame.
Well, if it had a hot air balloon on top of it, it would have taken flight. And thankfully, no lines were damaged, but it was super awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool.
All right.
Yeah, I think that one it was
One and done. Okay.
Fire marshal, yeah.
Well, I support it. So
I thought it was pretty cool, but the fire department and sheriff department was like, yeah, that one was.
we do that 1 year only.
Yeah, that was a good surprise.
I like it.
So Finn and Ameera, do you guys work on the Rush float? Is that part of what you guys, can you tell us about your float this year and what's involved?
Yeah, so going with the Innovate and Illuminate theme this year, we decided to go with building rocket. So we did a big rocket on the front, a lot of starry night kind of like stars, lights along the sides for the lighting aspect of it, and a lot of lights.
Very cool.
We're trying to illuminate as much as possible.
Yeah, everyone on the team works on the float. It used to be just like new students would work on it, but everyone has to work on it now, and I think it ends up being like better looking.
Yeah. Many hands
It's
make
like
light work.
a mini kickoff project because we come up with the theme of the idea that we want to do, and then we break it up into groups, and then the mentors each take a group, and then they have to do their part, which has to integrate with the whole, and so it really simulates what we're going to be doing in January.
Oh, very cool. And your season starts in January, like you were saying,
Yep.
so it's a little ramp up. And who are the judges for the parade floats?
This year we have two of our sponsors, Lawrence Plastics and Borg Warner are going to be providing a few judges, and then another from Ford Company. He's also been one of our judges before.
And what are the categories that
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that.
the awards? Or a couple of them anyway.
There's a STEM award. There's the best use of music, best theme.
There's like a Clarkston Pride one for all
There's
the
a Clarkston
float
Pride for
ones.
any club or organization in Clarkston, and they can earn $100 towards their club, so that's good. I believe it's the best theme, and the best overall get $250. So we get sponsorships for the parade too.
And can your float win, or is it excluded? Dang it. I feel like yours would be really good every year.
Yeah.
It tends to be more of the younger groups that win, only because some of the Boy Scouts and Cub Scout floats are amazing. When we did Robots Invade the Holiday Parade a few years ago, which I really like that theme, and would love to get it back, they made a giant Star Wars, monster that was, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it was huge and it was amazing.
That's
Very cool.
Yeah.
One year they made a spinning Rubik's Cube too that they could actually spin and work on the float.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, they make some really, really cool
So
designs.
the cool part is they get their engineering degree by doing this project too. So it's like it supplements more than just having a parade, but they get to get their patches and their other things.
That is amazing. Is this the kind of parade, just for like families out there, where the candy will be,
Handed
thrown,
out.
handed out, shot from a rocket? I don't know. However,
That was the other condition on this, was that please remind everybody that they must hand candy out. It's really not safe in November. It's a nighttime parade. It's the weather conditions are always sketchy, and the sheriff reminded me that it's actually against the law to throw something out of a moving vehicle, and so the concern is more that kids will run out to the float and they slip and fall, and now they're under a vehicle, and that's not cool. The very first year we ran the parade, after the parade, the roads got opened up very early, and a student was walking along the road and got hit by a car. And this was my first parade, and I was devastated because this can't ever happen again. So the sheriff has been absolutely amazing in helping us with the parade. They close the roads early so we can make sure everyone's clear, and they will not open the roads until we know Santa is safe. And the kids are off the street. So there's you might be downtown eating dinner and then say, okay, parade's gone, let's go. You got to wait until the entire space is clear of people. So they can hand out candy. We love handing out candy, but it's a
one on.
It's a
Slow
hand,
roll.
not a woo.
Where's the fun? No flames.
Fourth
no
of July.
check-
Fourth of July.
Right.
So Anna and I are going to be announcing the parade with Independence Television, so we're excited about that. We'll be at the corner of Washington, I think, right across from the Masonic Lodge. And if you stop by and see us, we'll have some mustaches and other fun things. But at the end of the parade, where should people? You were talking about the tree lighting that's happening.
Absolutely. Go to Calvary Lutheran Church and just follow Santa right on down, and they will have a tree lighting. They will have Santa talks to everybody, then he gets off of the float. He says hello to anyone who wants him to say hello to. They usually have cookies and treats and hot chocolate and things like that down there. So it's really a nice event at Calvary when the parade is done. It's a great place to take your kids.
It's a nice gathering.
And then there is also an event happening in Depot. I think, I'll have to double check, but I think that maybe starts before the parade.
I think
and
so.
lasts after the
I
parade.
think it starts
So-
at like 3 and goes to 8. Maybe
yeah,
starts at
somewhere
4.
in there.
I think they stop for the parade,
Okay.
and then the parade goes, and then they
Right.
open back up. It's like a little break.
So for planning purposes too, it starts at 6 on the dot.
It
We
starts
know
at
that.
6 on the dot.
On the dot. How long does it take, like, for Santa to get through and it's over?
So that's a rough question, because this year we have 34 entries right now, which is more than we've ever had at this point. One of our entries is going to be a Jeep group of people, and they have like 20 plus Jeeps. So we're going to be going two by two to get them through. But we have horses and kids walking. Usually it's about a 30-minute parade.
Okay.
I think it might be a little bit longer this year, just because we've got a few more entries.
Right.
Nice. And are the businesses in town usually open during the
Oh
parade?
my goodness, yes, they're open. A lot of them provide hot chocolate, and there's last year you could not walk down the streets. It was just packed, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just I anticipate it being the same way this year.
Fantastic.
I think we
it's
had
exciting.
about 4,000 people come out last year, and
Wow.
it was
Really?
awesome to see
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah.
cool.
So our details December 14th. Get there early, I would
Right.
assume, to get your spot
Yeah.
on Main Street.
Bring a lawn chair.
Bring a lawn chair. It's from 6 to, let's say 6 to 7, just
Yeah,
to
yeah.
you know, build in some Santa time or whatever you need. A drink from somewhere.
Yeah.
Fun or not, either way, there's gonna be stuff to consume along Main Street, and candy will be handed to you.
Yeah. Safely.
Thrown at you.
Safely.
It'll be a very safe
Absolutely.
place for all people. It sounds fun. I'm excited to be there and to be a part of it and to see your float, this rocket. It's not going to be launched, I assume, during the parade, or maybe not.
As
Maybe.
long as
Oh,
it
you
doesn't
know,
fall
no
off.
fire.
These two aren't so sure. I can't wait. This is going to be great.
It is going to be exciting, and the kids, just like Ameera was mentioning, having the whole team work together on the parade, on the
Yeah.
float, has made a huge difference.
That is so cool. Well, I personally can't wait to have you back, because Kyle has been on our list for many people have recommended that Kyle come and speak with
Yes.
us, because there's so many things that you do and have had such a lasting impact here at the high school and in our community. So that's another podcast for another time. But we definitely appreciate all of your time, and we can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here, you guys.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Independence Television, located inside Clarkston High School. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Independence Television, Independence Township, or Clarkston Community Schools.